Hi, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling in there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Allen from Bridges Ablaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
Hi, this is Jim Valance.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leather Leone.
This is Nothing from Inside the Trojan Horse.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
My name's Reggie and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
It's time once again for the Weekly Pour, the show that knows everything about absolutely nothing. Here are your hosts, TBT and Ace.
That is us. Welcome to episode 178 of the Weekly Pour podcast. I am TBT. That guy over there is Ace. It is April 15th. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I think, 7:01. Very first thing I got to get out of the way is to wish a very early and happy birthday to Mama TBT, who was once again very first one in the chat. If you're watching live on the YouTubes, she turns 26 tomorrow, April 16th. So a big happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Even Michael Jackson said happy birthday.
And then, of course, Mrs. TBT's birthday was yesterday.
No.
Very happy birthday to Mrs. Ace.
Right? I was like, wait a minute. We can't
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you thinking TBT.
Yeah.
Let me start over.
Okay, let's start that over. Yep, woof, snip, woof, snip.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say that my lovely wife, Miss Ace, had her birthday yesterday. So
it's
two
just
birthdays.
Miss Ace or Mrs. Ace?
Stop.
I
no more
know
corrections.
if you wanted to.
Okay, let's start over.
Okay, yeet it back.
Mrs. Ace's birthday was yesterday, so now we have two birthdays.
Absolutely.
To celebrate. Congratulations to everyone involved. And I said it right this time.
Happy belated birthday, because it was yesterday, to Mrs. Ace. Happy tomorrow birthday.
Early birthday.
To Mama TBT.
Mama TBT.
Exactly, because that's what we do. I just like pushing that button. That's like the coolest thing ever.
This is what's great about live. When you're live, you make mistakes, you go back, you redo it, and you still make mistakes.
Yeah, we just don't.
But it's okay.
Exactly. Either way, our audience will appreciate
it. Yes. No tracks.
Yeah, none. No live tracks whatsoever. Thank you. Sit down. The waitress will be there in a minute. Thank you. So as with every week, here we are. We are live on the YouTube. If you are listening to this after the fact, that's fine too. We appreciate it. If you're watching us live, be sure to jump into the chat, say hello. Everybody, it looks like normal's in there. Kathy's there. She says she's at work. Mama TBT, Mrs. TBT. And of course, we would be remiss if we did not welcome moderator Natalie, who has kept her job once again.
3 weeks in a row.
I know. And she wasn't late. But just in case, I had already put up the whole thing, the whole spiel that she usually puts up. So, because, she's usually late. Usually not here. But whatever. I have to send her a text and be like, where are you? And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. You're sorry? It's 5 years. And you can't make it on time.
She's got stuff to do.
Yeah. Oh, stuff to do. Right. Whatever. Yeah. She's got videos to make. Or actually, she's got pictures to take to put on TikTok. Never quite understood that. I thought that was a video platform. We should just sit here like this live.
Right. For an hour.
Yeah. Awkward silence for an hour. Occasional sniff, cough, sneeze, achoo, whatever. But anyway, we got a lot of news this week, man.
Finally.
Lots of it. We're 5 minutes into this, and we'll jump into that news here soon.
But you had a good weekend.
I did.
Tell us all about it.
So got a text a couple weeks ago from a mutual friend of ours who said, "Hey, you're not doing anything on whatever Saturday was just a few days ago." And I was like, "Nope, apparently I'm not." And they were like, "Okay, cool, we're coming to pick you up." I said, "Okay, where are we going?" They said, "South." And I'm like, "Florida South? No." So anyway,
I need to pack.
Yeah, what do I pack? Do I pack shoes or flippy floppies? So we Saturday comes around, we hit the road, and we ended up going to, and this isn't going to be a surprise to anybody as soon as I say the name of the town, we ended up in Vevey, Indiana. Now, there is some controversy of whether it is Vevey or it's
Vevey.
VV or Vevey or Vive. Las Vegas.
Like Sade.
Right. There's no R in it. So we went to Vevey. And the reason we went down there is because the black tulips, Queen of the Night tulips, are in bloom at the mansion house of none other than Kat Von D. So we go.
Nice.
Great time. Their flowers, they were there. There's like a bazillion of them. They were still in bloom. I think there's, I don't know, 1,800 of them, 1,500, something like that. All in bloom. The amount of people that were actually there was absolutely crazy.
Really?
What? So Mrs. TBT just yelled at me and she said there's 15,000 of these things out there. It's not a small area in the tulip world, but you go, you see, you take pictures. Again, the amount of people that were there, like crazy. I wasn't expecting that. Big mural on the side of a barn shed, big ass garage. It's just, got some tourist people there, myself included.
So this has become an attraction. Tourists come to Kat Von D's property and intrude on her privacy and her flowers, and it's okay?
No, not even. This is outside of her property. Like here's if you're not watching this, you're not going to get this. Here's the house.
Okay. On your left.
Here's the gate.
Okay.
Anyway, it's outside of the gate. You don't even go onto her actual property. You can walk up to the gate, take pictures. The house is gorgeous. House is absolutely beautiful. You can take pictures of the house, turn around, take pictures of the tulips, look at everybody else taking pictures of the tulips. And yeah, that's what you do. And then all of a sudden a black car comes down the driveway and it's her husband. And he's rolling the window down, waving at people. They're like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "Hey, she'll be down in a few minutes." I was like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to go down there and see all these tulips and end up seeing Kat Von D. Impossible. Not going to happen." It happened. Sure enough, 10 minutes later, here comes a Rolls Royce golf cart. Kind of cool. I have to admit, very cool. And there she is sitting in it. It's being drove by, I believe, the owner of the property that the tulips are in. The person who was either one, the owner, or two, the caretaker of the mansion house that she's in now. Anyway, she gets out. Her husband actually parks down by the garage with the mural on it. They pull out a lemonade stand.
That's what I wanted to know. If there were refreshments and concessions and t-shirts.
And no t-shirts, no concessions, just lemonade. Regular or strawberry. Her son, is the one that's selling the lemonade with dad alongside. So one of the cool things.
How old's the child?
Let's go with 9. Let's go with
awesome.
10. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Let's go with maybe 8. He's between birth and 10. That's what I'm going with. So Kat's there. I'm sorry, Miss Von D, Miss D, Miss Vaughn. She's there, and she basically tells everybody, hey, let's get through this quick so everybody can get through. I would like to take pictures with everybody. If you guys want to form a nice line and come up and put your phone in selfie mode and then come up and take a picture. I was like, okay, cool. Sure enough, got the picture taken. I did. Our friends that we went with, Mrs. TBT, just individual photos with Kat Von D. Exciting. I was pretty stoked. Of course, I've, like you and everybody that knows of her probably, have watched her in the past. LA Inc., I believe, was the name of the show she was on. She's now recording music. I believe she just did something with Maria Brink, just probably within the last couple of weeks. So she's not slowing down. She does live in Indiana. She has left LA, her and her husband, with their kid, living in Indiana. The total population for the town of Vevey or Vivu is like 1,200. On any given weekend when people come down to see the tulips, it's probably more like about 4,000.
Think about that. Think about that. You're leaving an area, a metropolitan area with about 9 million people, to move to a hole in the wall, so to speak, in southern Indiana.
Right.
With, as you said, what, 1,400 people?
Right.
And quiet, peacefulness, and flowers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's pretty cool.
And in today's world, she can still do anything she wants because we are all connected all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And really, here's the thing. And I'm not downplaying this whatsoever because it's something that's kind of cool. They're just flowers. But the fact that these are down there and planted by Kat Von D, who invites you to come look at them, who then comes down almost, I'm not going to say every day, could have very well have been every day, comes down at a minimum every weekend during this 2-week period to take pictures with fans. I saw people that were dressed like farmers coming from the farm stand. There were people coming dressed as gothic could get. And it's just a plethora, a mixing pot of people. And everybody was chill. Everybody was nice. And what I liked is that people are actually saying, thanks for doing this. We appreciate it. It's not trashy whatsoever.
Well, and the fact that she can just say, form a line, everyone be cool, form a line.
Yeah.
I'll take pictures all day, whatever. And it happens without chaos. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very. And then when it was over, when she was done taking photos, it's move over to the lemonade stand and help sell some lemonade.
Yeah, how was it?
I didn't have any. I bought one and I gave it to Mrs. TBT.
Well, and
she said it was good.
It's lemonade.
Yeah, it's strawberry lemonade. You got to make sure you get it right. Strawberry lemonade.
Do you have to like squish the strawberries? How do you make that?
I don't know. It was pre-made when it was brought down the hill. So I don't know. I don't know if they crushed them or what. I don't know. Do you have to pit them? I don't know.
What was the kid charging?
$1.
That's about right for these days.
I don't have a good cup to show the. You know what? Yeah, I do. It's about this size. I think we're gonna say it's about that size.
Now, did he take cash only, or did he have a nice little cube on the phone? Take your debit.
Listen, no, it is literally cash only. Homeboy did not want to do any math. Our friends, these were
right, $1.
Is $1, okay?
It's $1.
Our friend had a 20. Handed it to him, and he kind of looked, and our friend was like, just give me, you owe me 19 or something like that. And he's like, I don't really want to do math. And she said, Just give me a 10 and a 5. So she paid $5 for the cup of lemonade. Good.
That's a nice tip.
Yeah.
It's a nice tip.
Absolutely. He gets a $4 tip for a $1 cup of lemonade. But phenomenal. Her husband, phenomenal. Like they all were. This was like such a family oriented thing. And everybody was cool. Like I said, there were no arguments. There were nothing. It was just a bunch of cool people wanting to see some flowers and hang out with Kat Von D. So many kudos to her for doing that. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Ass.
Well, and it makes her appreciate living here even more when she can do this stuff and not get overwhelmed.
For sure. And I'm sure there's still people out there that would, be jerks about it and be like, it's just flowers. Who cares? She done ruined our town bringing all these people. Yeah, these people will also come in and they'll go to your restaurants and they'll buy stuff. Von D Land, I believe, is the name of the store that she has opening next month. Shoe store in the middle of downtown Vive.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Exactly. So it's going to be kind of cool, and more than likely he'll see her there because she's going to hire people, but it's her store. So she'll probably be there as well. Exactly.
She's still doing tattoos?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
No.
Because we speculated about that on one of our past shows, whether when she moved, would she do anything at all with tattoos?
Yeah, because I was ready to get booked.
Did she say anything about yours?
No, it wasn't have a conversation. It was just, hey, how are you? Got the picture because it was a long line, a very long line. Here's the thing. I live in Indiana. I drove 2 hours to go see this. There's other people that drove from like Delaware. So you're talking 8-9 hour days of driving just to see this stuff. So there's
no one picked the flower.
I'm sure somebody probably did, but that is against the rules.
I would say so.
Yeah, people are asked not to. There are signs lining the streets, blah blah blah. But yeah, they ask you not to pick them because don't. So
right,
very cool,
awesome.
Mad props to Kat Von D and her family for doing this. But it's really good. But we got to move on for that because we got to get into some news. Number one thing, this news broke today, probably around noon. A few episodes ago, we were talking about the lawsuit that a bunch of different states got into against Live Nation / Ticketmaster,
right,
for all the ticket prices and all that. Well, today at about 12:15, news broke that Live Nation has lost their jury trial to the states in that monopoly case. The ruling is said to have major implications across the live music business as a judge will now decide on the remedies, which could include, this is not guaranteed, but it could include a breakup of Live Nation and Ticketmaster. There was basically what they've been found liable in this bombshell monopoly lawsuit after a weeks-long trial that featured testimony from a bunch of different people and ended up with a guilty verdict. And this comes 2 years after the Department of Justice in nearly 40 states, who were the plaintiffs, had first announced a lawsuit against the live music giant, which was in May of 2024. There's a lot of news out about this. We do not know anything right now. There were some states that got into a settlement. And of course, some of that settlement was where Live Nation had agreed to like some real far less severe.
Right.
Yeah. Which didn't include a breakup of Ticketmaster.
Right. That was the big thing.
Yeah. However, that's still in the cards, which I think is great. Lots of claims, of taking money and charging fees and blah, blah, blah. And beyond the claims itself, evidence released in the trial had revealed some unflattering conversations between Live Nation representatives perhaps most notably a set of exchanges between two regional employees who were bragging to each other about gouging concert goers on different fees and parking spaces, including the text that read, "Robbing them blind, baby. That's how we do."
Oh my God. Are you serious?
So with the verdict decided, the next question obviously remains what remedies the judge will deem necessary. And like we just said, if that's going to include a breakup, the divestment or the splitting up of Ticketmaster and Live Nation was the solution the Department of Justice had originally sought. Without the Department of Justice's involvement, it's unclear how realistic that remedy would be. States, of course, have the same authority to pursue certain remedies, including a breakup, under the Clayton Act. So big stuff in the world of concert.
It's starting to feel like, not that I was around for it, but the breakup of Bell Telephone.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and now we have.
You were around
in the cellular age. We have a million cell carriers that you can pick from.
You can change it every week.
Exactly, in varying degrees of price and all that stuff. What if we get something like that out of this, where instead of dealing with secondary markets where we're getting gouged even more so,
right?
We're getting legitimate brokers of tickets, and we're getting better prices. That would be ideal,
right? Because I'm tired of paying what we pay for concert tickets. I mean, it was 2 weeks ago I picked up another concert, and I'm like, this is just stupid.
It is.
But you really literally have no choice other than to just not go.
Right. You vote with your wallet. And but the thing is, we all want to go.
Exactly.
We see these shows. I've got one coming up, which we'll get into in a minute, and then I've got 3 I'd like to go to if I could find the money.
Right.
But I mean, anymore, even the lawn at Ruoff is getting 50 to 60 to $80 or more.
Yeah,
just to sit on grass.
Just to sit on grass. You don't get Kat Von D's tulips when you're sitting in Ruoff's grass.
No, they get trampled.
Yeah,
and picked.
Moving on, I know this is a big story that you're going to get into, but Triumph has finally kicked off their 2026 reunion tour. A 15-song concert was in Orlando just this past Friday night. And I'm sure you're going to get into the set list and all that. That's where you take over.
Oh, okay. You said, I'm sure you are. So I thought you were continuing. So they opened the show Friday, and the set list was about what you would expect from a Triumph concert. We did get a little bit of a surprise with a Blinding Light show being included. That is a fan favorite from their more proggy early stuff. 15 songs is, for me, almost the bare minimum, right? For a headline act. We see that a lot these days, 15 to 20 songs, and that sort of thing. You have to remember, they've not played together on stage since 2008 when they went to Rocklahoma and the Sweden Rock Festival. Prior to that, they hadn't played at all together since 1987 or 88. So that's where this 30-year gap comes in. The thing about the questions about the show, how does it sound? How will Rick and Gil sound as singers, as vocalists? Who's doing what? A lot of that was answered in a way, but I think not in a complete way. If YouTube has got videos out the yin yang about all of this, and plus they've got live videos that people have shot, and they're all good. What I noticed and what a lot of people have noticed is the sound mix was not very good at all.
Really?
No, it's the first night, and we have to remember that. But there were times guitars would cut out; you couldn't hear guitar. Phil X, who's the other guitar player next to Rick Emmett, was much more pronounced in the sound of his guitar than Rick. The vocals with him and Todd Kearns were much more prominent. Of course, they're younger, stronger voices, but the mix for Rick and Gil wasn't there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was thin, it was reedy. You know, it may have been different in the moment there, but just watching a fan shot, camera shot video on YouTube, we all had the same assessment. Just the sound wasn't there. Um, and when they're taking a whole step down, they have to learn, the sound guy has to learn how to mix that so we can all hear it,
right,
and get this song at least sounding close to what it should sound like. I've already heard that on night 2, things had improved. And I will say Rick and Gil, being in their 70s, were not sounding like they did in their 20s, obviously. Rick being the guy that was much more recently retired, I don't think Gil has sang live since 2008 on those one-offs.
Exactly.
But overall, the musicianship was solid. The set list is solid. The light show was amazing. The video background and all that stuff that you get to see was well done. The crowd was enthusiastic on both of these nights. I see them May 17th, and I have a strong feeling that on May 17th, this thing will really, really be in fluid motion.
Oh, for sure.
The kinks worked out, and the sound worked out, and we'll get a much better, more complete Triumph show. But first night, yeah, there were some issues overall. But, most of the critiques online have not been too bad at all. We all agree it's the first night. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. One of the cool things I thought was that they actually, the 9th song that they had on their set list is they pulled out a Joe Walsh classic and did Rocky Mountain Way. I love that song, number one. I'm going to have to look and see if I can find it online because I want to hear it. I love that song.
If you know Triumph history, that's on the first record.
Right.
And that's what put them kind of on the map in certain areas in the U.S., Texas and spots in the Midwest that kind of propelled them into rock radio was that cover. So they're always going to include that song, and it's a fun one too.
And I wonder how long it's been since they've played that live.
I don't know. I'd have to look up the set list from 08, but I'm not sure if it was there then or not.
Yeah.
Obviously, and this is a different list than that one. I mean, we got a little bit more. We got a smattering of almost every record, almost not quite, but close.
Smattering.
A smattering.
That's pretty good.
Now I don't foresee them expanding this list beyond 15 songs. I think if we get to where this gels nicely, we should be happy and not want to change it up a whole lot.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but for anyone that's questioning this, Mike Levine was not at this first show.
No, and I don't think he was at the second one. I don't know. The plan is, I think, just if he feels like it, it's open for him to show up. Now, that throws a little monkey wrench into things in the fact that he has to get caught up on the same things we're talking about, the sound and all this other stuff. But I will say, any questions about the Rick and Gil being present and playing are squashed because they were present, they were playing, they were singing. There was plenty of, especially Rick. Rick got his full on guitar solo. He sang plenty of the songs. Gil at one point did disappear from the stage while they were, I forget which song they were playing, but he was not present because I think that's a stamina issue. When you haven't played drums like this, and he's got how many, 2-3 months of this?
Yeah.
So he took a little breather. I get it. But I mean, Phil X and Todd Kearns did sing lead on a couple of songs, But for the most part, we got a lot of original Triumph out there playing and doing their thing.
Yeah, which is very cool. So I know
yeah.
you're looking forward to that concert, and I'm sure we'll talk about it many more times before you actually go. And then, of course, we expect your full report on the show immediately following that one. The other largest news of the week revolves around the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. As the inductees for the 2026 class were released or announced, just like last year, on American Idol. I didn't watch it. I have it recorded on my...
Did you see the clips?
No, I haven't looked for it. No, it's been a little busy. There's other stuff that we'll talk about off air. But it's just been busy. But just like last year, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame partnered with ABC's American Idol to reveal their 2026 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction class. The cool thing is that there will be 18 acts and individuals in total that will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year, including the 8 acts that are part of the performer category. Those that are listed in the performer category. You got to remember, I'm going to cover those that didn't get in it as well.
Right.
But those that are inducted this year include Luther Vandross. I'm not going to do applause for every single one of them. Wu-Tang Clan. Okay. Hey. Joy Division / New Order. I really don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look that up. Why am I not familiar with that?
I'm not either.
Okay. Sade, or as we used to say back in the day, Sade. Oasis. Phil Collins.
Yay.
Billy Idol.
Yes.
And finally, Iron freaking Maiden.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You and I talked about this, was it 2 weeks ago?
At least.
When Blaze Bayley was notified that he would be listed if they were to be inducted as a member of the band, and he would be inducted with everyone else in Iron Maiden. We had talked about it. And my thought was this is an indication that they're going to get in.
Right.
That they knew
exactly
they were going
what
to get
we
in.
Said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because somebody put a bug in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's ear that, hey, that's fine. We want to, we'll accept it, but you're forgetting a guy. Because they listed everyone else that's ever been in Iron Maiden.
Right.
Except Blaze Bayley. And now he's inducted with them.
Yeah.
Or will be.
And it's awesome. And between Iron Maiden, Billy Idol, Phil Collins, they've all made remarks, which we'll get into those in just a bit. But while only 8 of the 17 nominees are going in. So basically that means that there's still 9 that will have to wait 30 more years. Who knows? Maybe next year, whatever. Among those not getting in is New Edition. Okay.
What?
Here's the thing, though.
What?
As it was the 2 or 3 times that we mentioned the current fan vote, New Edition actually led the rock and roll fan voting.
Right.
Just like Pahish did last year.
Right.
And they didn't get in either. But what some people probably don't realize, and I didn't either until we were told last year or the year before, I don't remember. The fan vote only accounts for 1 vote amongst the entire Rock and Roll Hall of Fame voters and all the ballots cast. 1 vote.
1 vote.
1 vote. Obviously, it appears that the voting body outweighed the fan wishes for this year. New Edition collected over 900,000 fan votes after the initial nominees were announced, but it counts for 1. So hey, if you want your artist to get a vote for them.
So what is the point of the fan vote? Is that just for them to gauge where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame voting board to gauge where the fans are and what they think? Or is it to include the fans into thinking that they have a say?
I literally think it's just inclusion. Let me draw you to my website by giving you the opportunity to vote. Now, had all of those votes went to Iron Maiden, then now you as a fan have bragging rights. Yeah, I voted for them in the fan vote, even though it was just 1 vote out of 900,000 that were
the
cast.
problem is, and here's the problem. If you did allow those, let's say 15,000 votes that Iron Maiden may have gotten, to all count, all of them, what's to stop anybody from stuffing the ballot box, so to speak, digitally, like we do these days with everything?
But that's literally what we talked about.
Right.
Which may be ultimately why it only counts as 1 vote.
Right, because people would go nuts trying to get their people in. Yeah, it happens. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
in all sorts of things.
In addition to new edition, see what I did there? Not getting in, Pink, Shakira, and In Excess, who finished 3rd, 4th, and 6th in the fan voting, were also left out when the inductees were revealed. Others who were initially nominated but didn't make the final cut included Mariah Carey, Lauryn Hill, Melissa Etheridge, Jeff Buckley, and the Black Crowes. They'll get in. They will get in.
It almost feels like this is the most accurate ballot.
Yes.
For who should, out of all of these people, who should have been in. As good as we can, outside of this new world order or whatever that is, that we don't know what it is. But like Luther Vandross is a legendary, talent. Of course, Phil Collins, is an amazing talent and well-deserved. And Billy Idol's a pioneer and Iron Maiden's a pioneer. These people that we've listed and talked about, it's the most precise, accurate telling of who should be in out of that whole group. The people that got left behind, well, they were on the ballot. They'll eventually most likely get in, but
you'll get your chance.
You'll get your chance, but I mean, I don't see a world where Pink, Shakira, Mariah Carey should all go in on the same ballot. I don't.
Oh no, I don't either. That's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Pop Edition.
Exactly, that's what you're saying. And this also feels, I'd have to look at the last couple of years, but this feels like the most rock represented round of Hall of Famers getting in, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
Depending on what you think of Phil Collins and what but I always count him as a rock guy, even though he was a very pop orientated in the '80s.
Sure, absolutely. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony will take place at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles on November 14th. After the inductees were announced, of course, some of the bands that made it had some stuff to say, including the politically correct Iron Maiden, who put out this statement. Iron Maiden says, "We'd like to thank the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for including us and former members who were all part of our story in the 2026 roll call of inductees. Iron Maiden have always been about our relationship with our fans above anything else, including awards and industry accolades. However, having said that, it's always nice to be recognized and honored for any achievements within the music industry, too." The statement continues. "It also seems appropriate for the band to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year as we continue our 50th anniversary celebrations with our Run for Your Lives World Tour, visiting the Americas and beyond. We would also like to congratulate our fellow 2026 inductees and extend our gratitude, blah, blah, blah. Thanks to the fans for their loyalty, perseverance, and support over 50 years. See you all somewhere on tour. That is so politically correct, but bravo to whoever wrote that. Good job, PR team.
I was worried they were just going to print out a big middle finger.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, here's your invite, and then there's the big finger.
But they did the right thing. They took the high road, but the first thing they mentioned was we do this for the fans and made sure they are fan orientated. And we already know they won't be performing at the Hall of Fame because they'll be in Australia on tour. Now we may get other people representing them. Nico McBrain, Blaze, those guys, but Iron Maiden proper will not be there.
Correct. Another inductee who decided to throw out a message, of course, was Billy Idol. Billy Idol and his guitarist, the ever so amazing and great Steve Stevens, were part of the American Idol show where they performed, and Carrie Underwood sang, I don't know what song. Like I said, I haven't watched it.
I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Okay. I'm just glad Steve Stevens were there. Anyway, Billy Idol has released his first statement after being announced as a member as well. Billy Idol says, to be recognized by your peers is incredible. I'm not going to do his accent. You don't really know what people think about you, but this gives you an indication. Keep in mind that Billy Idol first came eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2007, so he almost had to wait an entire 20 years. He's come up short during his previous appearances on the ballot last year, and we talked about him last year. And I want to say he may have been like second or third in fan ballot in the fan vote. But he does admit that he was disappointed that he didn't make it last year, but he stopped short of saying he was worried about his chances. So it was a quick and easy statement from him. So very, very thrilled for Billy Idol as well. Just getting to see him last year in concert.
Yeah.
Oh man, another one. It just keeps on going.
Well, and that was the thing about the American Idol performance, and I'm assuming it was entirely live. He performed Rebel Yell with Carrie Underwood.
Okay.
And I was very, very impressed with how he sounded. You know, he still sounded like Billy Idol. He didn't sound like an older version. He didn't sound like he had dropped it down. You know, he didn't sound anything other than what he should have sounded like. Of course, now he wasn't like doing a couple of the bigger notes, but the songs sounded amazing.
Yeah.
Carrie Underwood came out in her rock attire, and I like Carrie Underwood, but it almost was like she was trying too hard to sing this song. And she sings rock songs in her concerts, and I've heard them, and they're always good. This one kind of fell flat next to Billy.
And remember, it's on ABC, who is owned by Disney, and they have to tone it down a little bit.
Well, it just felt a little. It just didn't feel right the way she approached it vocally. But
I gotcha. Okay,
that's what I mean. The way she approached it vocally, and but Steve got his moment on the solo. Stepped in between both of them, and it was pretty cool. But Billy, kudos to Billy. He sounds great, and he looks great.
Yeah.
And that was one I missed last year and was kicking myself because I just couldn't make it happen, and I wanted to go, and I wanted to take Mrs. Ace, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, when Billy Idol does get inducted this year, it will mark his second time on the Hall of Fame stage. Because if you remember, back in 2024, he helped induct Ozzy Osbourne as a solo artist during a star-studded tribute to the Prince of Darkness. So very cool, very excited for Billy Idol. This is going to be a good show. It's going to be a show worth watching, definitely. The third inductee that I know we've been paying attention to also gave some comments, and of course that was Phil Collins. Everybody should know who Phil Collins is, between his work with as my mind goes blank, he did a lot of solo stuff, and of course his work with Genesis. Lots of songs
which he's already in with Genesis, I believe, right?
I don't even know.
I believe he is.
Yes, they were in 2010. So yes, you're absolutely right. Genesis went in 2010, but this means a little bit more.
Icing on the cake here.
Yeah, this is you as a solo artist. Think of some of his songs. One More Night, In the Air Tonight, and the classic drum beat in the middle of that song. Against
I Don't
All
Care
Odds.
Anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Another Day in Paradise.
Susudio.
Spell it. Phil Collins will, of course, enter for the second time, of course, the first time with Genesis, after previously earning induction in 2010 as a member of Genesis. Collins will earn enshrinement as a solo artist in this year's class. Becoming a multi-inductee will place Phil Collins in rare rock air among other legends such as Eric Clapton, Stevie Nicks, each of the Beatles, and of course his former bandmate, Peter Gabriel.
Yep.
In a statement that was released by Phil Collins, he says, "Obviously, I'm pleased and honored to be inducted. It wraps up what has been a wonderful life in music." That was it. That was the brief message. He had nothing more to say. Of course, we've already talked about the songs that he has.
Yeah, one of my favorites is Inside Out. I love that song.
I've never heard it. I'm joking.
Oh my gosh.
I'm joking.
Oh, no jacket required. It's got the big, he's noted for the big gated drum sound, like on
Right.
In the Air Tonight. That song is full of it. Like he just went crazy with gated drums. It's awesome.
Yeah, in the 2010 induction, of course, Genesis opted not to play. This was a decision largely due to Phil Collins' failing health. Instead, Pahish performed 2 Genesis songs in the band's honor. Collins' chronic conditions, including severe nerve damage and type 2 diabetes, make it highly unlikely that he'll perform at this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony. His last performance took place on March 26th, 2022.
Right.
Which was part of the Genesis The Last Domino tour.
Yeah, so, from a chair where his voice was almost a whisper. If you remember that. We talked about it.
But who else was just inducted on a stage full of their peers? Ozzy,
yes.
Ozzy. Why can we not have the same thing for Phil Collins? Why
that
not?
Would be great.
Surely there's got to be plenty of people. This could be the new We Are the World of just a plethora, we'll use that word again, of artists to go in there and sing all of his hits, do little things like that. There's a lot of potential there. We should do this.
Well, it could happen, and what would be great about it is you would not only get pop singers coming in to do this because of his pop type of music, but you could get a lot of rock guys that respect Phil Collins.
For sure.
That would come in and do this and probably really get a kick out of it. And he would too.
I am right now going to make a phone call immediately after this show because I want Metallica to perform Susudio.
That would be great.
It really
get a hold of Tom Morella and have him hook this up because it would be great.
We'll make it happen.
We could have Nuno involved in all of it.
Of course, duh. There's no question that would happen. But yeah, kudos to everybody that's getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. Of course, I'm sure we will talk about it more as that date gets near for that ceremony because there's just going to be plenty of stuff. We do have a few more stories to get through these last 10 minutes, one of which is very, very interesting, and I think somebody is cursed because of a full moon. if you remember, maybe a month or two ago, may have been a year ago, we talked about Taylor Momsen needing medical assistance because she got bit by a bat. This thing latched onto her leg and bit her. Of course, this was during the AC/DC tour where her band, Pretty Reckless, is opening for AC/DC. Well, guess what? It doesn't stop at bats.
No, it's other exotic creatures.
She most recently required medical assistance after being bit by what's being called a massive spider prior to her band opening up once again for AC/DC in Mexico City on Tuesday night. As I've already mentioned, this marks the second time that she's been bitten by a wild animal while performing for AC/DC.
Yeah. They've got
According
some
to
gnarly
her,
creatures in other parts of the world. You got to be careful.
I don't, yeah, Natalie just said she needs some pest repellent. I don't think that would keep a spider away. According to some set list, the bite didn't stop her and Pretty Reckless from delivering a 10-song set during the show, and of course they're scheduled to continue on with that tour. What the heck? The luck, the venom allegedly did do a number on her system. So she had to have the wonderful doctors in Mexico come and deliver quite the shot before that show. So
Man.
what the heck?
I hope they were competent physicians, because can you imagine being somewhere in another country with all these wacky venomous spiders and snakes and all this stuff, and you don't have a doctor for 40 miles.
Maybe she needs to change her body wash or her perfume. You know what? I have this. In order for her to feel better, I volunteered to be the next thing to bite her. Moving on to the next story as we get closer to the end of this broadcast. Coachella. We just had Coachella not too long ago. I think it was just this past weekend. And
yes.
A lot of people talk about Teddy Swims. Well, on his performance, during his performance,
why does he look like Jelly Roll?
I don't know. He basically made it quickly clear that he was going to have special guests joining him throughout his set on the Coachella stage. Of course, he's best known for his 2023 hit Lose Control. He used a doorbell sound effect to welcome each of his surprise collaborators. Ding dong.
That's something you would do.
It totally is. But what if he had a ring? Anyway, so the first person to come out during his performance after ringing the doorbell was Joe Jonas. And they got together and they did their rendition of some Jonas Brothers song. Next doorbell, ding dong. Ding dong, because nobody answered the first one. Pop star Vanessa Carlton, who delivered her 2001 hit 1,000 Miles, which of course I think is on every love movie soundtrack, especially Twilight and all that. But the biggest surprise came out of the third doorbell. And no, it was not Nuno Betancourt. Surprise, surprise. When the door was answered, it was David Lee Roth. Yes, DLR from Van Halen.
How? Who said that's who we need?
I don't know. Probably David Lee Roth. He probably said that himself. After giving Swims a monster bro hug, the iconic opening synth line of Jump began to play, garnering cheers from the Coachella crowd, even though most in the attendance were not even born when the 1984 hit was released. Either way, It's just one of those things, and David Lee Roth definitely did not phone it in, as he was decked out in a bedazzled leather vest and tight pants combo. The legendary frontman spun and gyrated on stage while delivering the timeless track. I did not write this. He even strutted down the oversized Coachella catwalk while twirling a microphone stand like a baton during the tune's famous guitar solo. For his part, of course, Swim seemed to be loving the moment as much as his fans, gleefully smiling from ear to ear as he sang along with the Van Halen frontman. Videos of the performance, of course, can be found online. No, I have not watched it yet.
I haven't either. I might now.
You kind of have to. Yeah, you kind of have to. But once again, David Lee Roth, you know what? Just bless his heart. Bless his heart. And apparently Natalie is upset that I said that I would volunteer. You know what? Ace and I will both volunteer to be the next ones to bite Taylor Momsen. Whatever.
How am I? What, me?
I'm just bringing in reinforcements. It is the middle of April, which means it is, and this is going to be everybody's top story for tonight. It is WWE WrestleMania time. The reason we bring this up is because I think it's important to not only recognize the fact that WrestleMania, which is the Super Bowl of professional wrestling sports entertainment, or as some of them say, the Super Bowl is their WrestleMania. One of the coolest things about WrestleMania is the fact that they have had numerous hard rock and metal performances over the years. And I just wanted to mention a few of those to draw a little bit of attention to it. Of course, WrestleMania takes place this weekend at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. And it's not just about, the storylines and all that. A lot of times this gives bands the opportunity to go out and showcase what could be a theme song for a wrestler. It could just be the
like Nickelback being involved this year.
Exactly. So it's a good chance. And if this goes way back, we can talk about Kid Rock, who was involved in WrestleMania 25. You've got Drowning Pool, who was involved in WrestleMania 18. Saliva, they were also at the same one.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 41, which was last year, when the WWE superstar Damian Priest was coming out. None other than Kerry King from Slayer.
Yes, I remember that.
Was out there playing his theme. And there's people going, what the heck? Because nobody expected to ever see Kerry King from Slayer
right.
at WrestleMania. But it was amazing. There's been others, including...
I like it when they bring the people that have the theme song. Like Living Color comes out WrestleMania 29 to play for CM Punk, or Joan Jett for Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
That's always cool, I think.
Or most importantly, Motorhead, when they came out at WrestleMania 9, they also came out. I think they've done 2, if I'm not mistaken.
He's got 4. 2 theme songs by them.
Yeah, they did WrestleMania 17 as well.
Yeah.
And those are, of course, for Triple H, Paul Levesque, who's currently the chief content officer, basically does all the storylines. But I mean, Motionless,
desperate to get back in the ring himself,
right?
From what it looks like.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing: not only do we have bands that have performed, but we are getting ready to have a performer probably involved in a match. Jelly Roll has been highly visible the last month or so on SmackDown. It's turned into the Jelly Roll hour.
Yeah, it has. But Limp Bizkit, even Alice Cooper, who was involved with WrestleMania 3, he came out. There's always a I'm going to use that word again, plethora of stars. You've already mentioned in Living Color. But for me, one of the most important ones before Alice Cooper, when he was involved with WrestleMania 3, You got to remember Cyndi Lauper, of course, involved with WrestleMania 1, I believe. I don't think she performed. But WrestleMania 2 featured Ozzy Osbourne, which, if the Prince of Darkness can get involved, then so can you. So that was cheesy. It's just Ozzy, whatever. But yeah, I figured why not? Since this is WrestleMania weekend, why not bring up some of the acts that have performed or just shown up in the ring, because it's something cool just about every time.
Well, Cyndi Lauper, you mentioned, she was a part of that, the rock and wrestling thing that was helping bring wrestling more into the mainstream because she was so popular at the time. And I think the main event with Hulk Hogan, and she was associated with Lou Albano and Wendy, was it Robin? What the heck was her name? No,
Wendy
that's
Richter.
Wendy Richter. Wendy Richter, yes.
Yeah.
Involved in that match. And so she was actually involved, but not performing as a vocalist. No.
Yeah, exactly. But still, nonetheless, very cool. If you get a chance, be sure to check out WrestleMania this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. That's our plug for them. We are done. This was episode 178. We appreciate you guys coming in and watching. If you were not doing this live, we appreciate you listening. Once again, we're going to say a special happy birthday yesterday to Mrs. Ace. Happy future birthday tomorrow to Mama TBT. I am TBT. That guy over there is Ace. My dog is choking. That was tonight's show. We hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and go to like Apple or something and leave us a review.
Is that your band? My Dog is Choking?
Yeah!